Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303, episode 291. The 2024 Year in Review, Part 1. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This is my co-host. As always, we have with us the producers, the EPE, and Nutty Putty. And for today's episode, we have our special guests, Luigi Orozco and Jason Escudero. Let's see who we're starting with today. Nevada, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty damn good. Missed you guys last week, but it's good to get back into it.
Glad to have you back, as always. All right, Eric, how you doing this evening?
Oh, you know me, man. I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails, baby. Ready for this episode.
And if what's the temperature of that in Celsius?
0? I don't know.
Luigi, how you doing this evening?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. It's been a minute, so I'm glad to be back on with y'all.
Oh, flashing that wedding ring. Congrats on that.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man.
And last but not least, we'll throw it to Jason, who made a very specific point that he had something to get off his chest. So how are you doing this evening, Jason?
I did have a point, and I still can't remember what I wanted to talk about. But I will say this, though. Kendrick's just killing it this year, you know?
Oh,
God,
everyone's tired of it. Everyone's tired of it. But, like, let's be real. He killed it this year.
We're 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in, and Jason mentioned Kendrick Lamar.
I know I had something else, but I can't remember it. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to talk about our end of year movie reviews. I'm honestly excited. There were some good movies this year, guys.
It was a very good year for movies. I do agree with that. So for part 1, we'll be getting into best movie. We'll get into best show. We'll get into biggest surprise and biggest disappointment. The way it works is everyone had the opportunity to submit 1 through 10, their top 10 for each category, and then you're awarded points based on where you come in on that. So if you were the number 1 spot, you got 10 points. If you were the number 10 spot, you got 1 point, and vice versa. Some people decided they only wanted 5 or 3 or to not participate. So should make it a lot easier. Without further ado, since the columns go Luigi, Jason, Nick, myself, Eric, Nevada. Luigi, you want to give us your top 5?
Top 5. All right. So I'm going to start with my movies, correct? Let's go to – I've got my notes, so give me 1 second.
It's on the screen as well.
Yeah, it's on the screen as well. Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot. Thank you. So for my top movies, I've got Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, Monkey Man, Dune Part 2, and Gladiator 2. I felt like this year of all years was the strongest sequel year I've seen for films. I had 3 in my top, and I genuinely liked them that much. I had to give them all a shout out.
I honestly don't disagree with that. Like, as we'll evidence later with like a couple films in Nevada's list and Jason's list, you do see quite a bit of sequels coming through. So, Jason, you want to give us your 10?
Yeah, man. Honestly, for me, it was Gladiator 2. I think it was just because it was more of a nostalgic thing for me. So I had to put it at number 1 because the acting, the action was just everything that I wanted from a sequel from the first Gladiator. You know, I think all of us in our 30s can kind of reminisce of what we loved about the first movie. They kind of just added on to that second movie. So I had to put that in my first, number 1. Also, Twisters, number 2. Acting maybe wasn't great, so I had to put it at number 2, but at the same time, it was also nostalgic purposes, man. I think everything that was for me for 2024 was for nostalgic reasons. Again, that's why I have number 3 at Inside Out 2. Wild Robot, though, was definitely a huge surprise for me. I cried. It was just a kind of
That's not saying much, though.
Yeah. You cry if you wake up.
I don't know, man.
You
I don't
cry
know.
a lot.
I do cry a lot, but I like to cry, man. I like to cry in movies. And if a movie's going to make me cry, I fucking love it. It has to be in my top 5. It has to be. I don't know. It was just a good story. I do recommend it for kids and adults. If even on a date night, you know, if you don't have if you're if you're trying to date someone or you're trying to go out on a first date, Wild Robot is a good first date movie, I would say. Dune 2, of course, you know, it was epic. Definitely a lot better than the first one. It definitely built a lot to it. Beetlejuice, again, a lot of nostalgic for me. I loved it, dude. I thought it was I don't know. I thought it was good. It was a great experience for everybody. Wicked, a nice musical. I know it was on in Broadway and stuff like that. Didn't get to see the Broadway show, but got to see it in theaters, and I was pretty impressed with it, man. Honestly, it kind of felt like that Chicago vibes. I don't know if you guys saw the movie for Chicago, right? The musical. So I thought that was dope. And yeah, from there it kind of just went on to the shows that movies. Sorry, Deadpool, If, Furiosa, great movies, great cinematic scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, on that, I feel like that's why they were a little bit lower than the movies that I put on top.
I like the list. It's solid. Nevada, you're going to pull double duty, so go ahead and give us your boys' list.
Yeah, thankfully it's pretty tiny, but Nick started out with the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which I see on here. I think it's four of us have it on our list. Good movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's fun. Fall Guy, which that was God, what's his name? Ryan Gosling and
Ryan Gosling.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Thank you. Twisters, again, pretty popular pick. Wolves, which I don't know about you guys. I watched it. That was low on my list. I could not stand that movie.
Just body Nick's list.
Yeah. And then Civil War, which was a highly anticipated movie that came out early in the year or mid-year, something like that. Not bad, but yeah, those are the 5 that Nick submitted. So hopefully next year he'll watch at least 10 movies and put 10 down.
He gave us 2 more than Eric. All right, so I'm going here. I only went 8 deep. I went number 1, Strange Darling. It's a Spielberg meets Tarantino multi-chapter part about a night gone wrong between a male and I don't know why I've said male, between a man and a woman, and one of them is a serial killer. Then I went number 2, probably going to end up being my second favorite movie of all time, behind the first part, Gladiator 2. Then I went number 3, Moana 2. I had a straight up great fucking time watching that movie. And
I haven't seen that one. I want to watch it.
Same. I got to see that.
I thought it was fantastic. I went solo dolo and I had a good ass time. I was like, yo, this movie was tight. And then the ending was especially awesome, but I won't, no spoilers here.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Is there a song better than How Far I Go?
No, it's not better than the first Moana because the music.
The songs.
There isn't.
So the songs are, okay.
There isn't one song that hits the way some of those Moana ones.
But it's still amazing.
But it's still good.
Did Lin-Manuel do the music for the second one?
I actually don't know.
He didn't.
That's why right there.
No, dude,
Shut up, bro.
Relax.
That tough, dude.
Man, you should be saying the same shit.
That fool ruined.
Yeah, but we don't claim you, Luigi.
That dude ruined.
Yeah, you do.
what's that one movie? What's that Scuttlebutt song? Scuttlebutt, ba 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 ba. You guys remember that song?
Keep singing it. Maybe we'll catch it.
Exactly. No one cares about it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, Jake, but I'm gonna keep going.
Oh,
With my list.
Little Mermaid. You're talking about
The Little Mermaid song. Yeah, that was an Emmanuel song. That
Under
song
the
sucked,
Sea?
dude.
Lin
No,
Manuel.
Under the Sea was not a song from him. That song's fire. But Emmanuel created a song, right? That Scuttlebutt song.
All right, Eric, who did this music for
Anyways.
Moana 2?
It's Mark Mancina, Emily Bear, and Open Tie for I. I don't know how to say it. So
Dude, I think you might have killed that though.
Anyways,
maybe.
Jaybird, is that Scuttlebutt from the new Little Mermaid?
yeah, from the new Little Mermaid.
I haven't seen that one. So
It was
that's why I have no clue
atrocious.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that song sucked.
It looked bad, so I didn't watch it. So after Moana 2, I had If.
Love it. Love that pick.
I don't usually go out of movie theaters and tell people to go watch a film. If was one of the ones that I did leave the theater and go like, hey, you should watch this. I did that with 3 movies: Book of Clarence, Strange Darling, and If, and no surprise, all 3 of them made my list. If phenomenal kid movie from a perspective of dealing with something much more mature. But man, for all the adults who love to wallow in their trauma and claim like that their trauma is more hardcore than anyone else's trauma, this movie is for you because they do a good job tackling that. And John Krasinski is slowly becoming just A-list at every single thing he does: acting, directing, producing. So shout out to him. Twisters, arguably the most fun movie I saw in the theaters this year.
Yeah, I can't argue that. It was
fun. Electric, just beginning to end. And I was sitting next to Eric, who had a full erection the whole time because his man crush was on the screen. So it was a good time. And then Furiosa, I didn't have high expectations for that film.
Same.
And I was blown away. And Chris Hemsworth absolutely smacked in that film.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, right?
And I was surprised at how much I could believe in Anya Taylor-Joy being a badass because she's so small. But I was like, all right, I can get on this train.
But not only that, but like Chris Hemsworth as being a villain.
4'11", and he's the most badass superhero of all time.
Say that one more. Say that one more time, Jason. Who's the villain?
Chris Hemsworth as being a villain is absolutely like what he did was like I was not expecting that, and just him going from like obviously like his character is like he's trying to pull out from what his characters are, right? Because he's a handsome dude, obviously, as Thor and other characters, and to him to pull out and being a villain, he did a great job.
Yeah, it reminds me of Jason Momoa in Fast and Furious.
They had to make him less good looking, though. They put that nose prosthetic on him, right?
He was still sexy.
Let's make you a little more normal.
Then my last 2, The Book of Clarence. Dude, I really wasn't expecting it. I thought the music in that was great. Like from the musical perspective, it was awesome. The twist that they put on it from, being the Messiah, being a prophet, and how he tried to manipulate that, and then the story coming full circle and his character arc through the film. Man, I was blown away. I really thought I thought the world of that movie. I thought it was phenomenal. And then Dune Part 2, I mean, it felt epic. The film felt epic beginning to end. The cinematics were awesome. And old buddy doesn't believe in dialogue, so that's probably why it's a little lower on my list. And it's difficult to follow. He loves to jump around and not have it have any linear throughput for some reason. And I feel like when we got to the climax, he had spent all his budget on riding a sandworm an hour earlier, and the battle was like 12 seconds. So I was a little thrown off by that. But overall, I still thought it was a phenomenal movie. That's my list 1 through 8. So
I'm going to interject right here real quick. That duel scene at the end, though, My God, one of the better one-on-one fight scenes I've seen in a movie that I can think of right off the bat. Like it reels you in and makes you feel like you're right there watching them. I had a great time watching that scene between Austin Butler and Timothy
Yeah,
Chalamet.
but we jumped from assaulting the castle to that scene in the blink of an eye.
I need more of the assault.
I
No,
was just-
I agree. I was just saying, like, I really enjoyed that scene, though. I was like, man, this is really good. I think that my biggest issue with the way Villeneuve does movies is sometimes he just takes a little too long to get to where he's going.
Yeah, not sometimes, almost every single time. See Blade Runner 2049, bro.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
All right, Eric, give us your list. Don't go too long.
So I number one movie this year is Gladiator 2. Second movie was Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and third was Twisters. I definitely have more movies that I could have put on this list, but
Same.
at the end of the day, the only thing that mattered are the three at the top of the podium: gold, silver, and bronze, and that's what I gave you. So, but as for Gladiator 2, it's a great movie. They did a great job of continuing the story and not watering down the legacy of Gladiator 1, or Gladiator, I should say. But it's still not quite Gladiator level, right? There's not as many quotables. Because I went back to watch Gladiator after I watched Gladiator 2, and I've watched it like 3 times since because I forgot how good of a movie that was. But there's just so many quotables in Gladiator, and I don't know. It's a far and above and beyond Gladiator 2, but Gladiator 2 was the best movie this year, in my opinion. I loved it. I'm a little heartbroken that they're doing the third part. I don't get it. Like, just stop it now. You haven't fucked it up yet, but we'll see if they can make a good trilogy. So
They have
in Ridley, we believe.
They have 2 bangers though. So
In Ridley, we believe. So
Sorry, go ahead, Jermaine.
no, go ahead.
My issue with Gladiator 2 was, and don't get me wrong, I love me a good villain, and Denzel did what Denzel does when
you
he
can
plays.
talk about his accent.
I don't care about his accent.
Oh, okay.
That
They're all
doesn't matter.
supposed to be speaking Latin. Who cares what fucking accent they had? But I love that Denzel had that, but I kind of wanted more from Paul Mescal. Like I know his character was supposed to be quiet and like not very articulate, but I guess I compared him too much to Russell Crowe in the original, where he had these great lines of dialogue or monologues where you're like, damn, I want to quote that later on. You didn't get that very much from Paul Mescal's character.
All right, Nevada, do you want to round out your top 10?
I'll round it out. Fortunately, I don't have Gladiator yet because I haven't been able to see it yet. So,
Spoilers though.
It was
yeah.
You know,
He
it's
said it
only
was
on all
all
of our lists, but you know, it's whatever.
Yeah. It's my list. You guys can eat my butt. First one I have is Society of the Snow. It came out right around Christmas last year after we did our 23 review. If you haven't seen it, it's about the Argentina soccer team, right? Argentina, the ones that crashed in the Andes. I think it was Argentina. Anyway, good acting, and the emotions, the scenery, everything was just so visceral. It really made me feel like I was in the movie. Kind of some cringe stuff because obviously everybody knows the story, but very well put together movie. Number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought it was a good end cap for that trilogy. Obviously had really high hopes for it. I don't think it fell too short of those as well. So that's why I put it up there. Number 3, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Again, like I said with Nick's, fun movie. Definitely worth the watch. Furiosa at 4. Like Jermaine said, didn't really have high hopes for it. I was actually tempted not to even watch it, but it definitely blew my expectations out of the water. So really good movie, good acting. Number 5, Kinds of Kindness. This was the same basically lineup, director and all that did Pretty Little Things last year. I think we talked about that late last year. It wasn't on the year-end review, but it's kind of the same idea. It's not for everybody's taste as far as that kind of directing and storytelling, but the acting in it is just it's so good. It's very bizarre, but it's also fun. Blitz, that was Apple TV. It was about World War II. Basically, a kid getting lost. They're doing the bombing of Britain. Mom sends him away. He runs away from where he's supposed to go, and then it's kind of his travels trying to get back to his mom. I had Kong versus Godzilla. Again, kind of another sequel, or at least another chapter in the story of Kong and Godzilla. Again, kind of like Furiosa, I didn't really have high hopes for it, but it was actually, I thought it was pretty good. Not as good as, Godzilla -1, but that's a little bit separate storytelling, but still a pretty good movie nonetheless. Number 8, Longlegs. A bizarre movie, pretty simple. The cinematography on there is pretty cool. It's I don't know the best way to explain it, but it's one of those movies where every time a character is in the screen, they're dead center in it. So it kind of has that ominous feel just from the cinematography standpoint. Nicolas Cage is in there, so you can't go wrong with that. He has a very odd role in it. The Substance with Demi Moore. Demi Moore and her, I guess I would say, for lack of better term, her doppelganger. If you guys haven't seen it, I won't dive into it too much. Both pretty freaking hot. Not to mention the acting as well by Demi Moore is some top-notch stuff. And then rounding it out, number 10, Monkey Man, which I pretty much liken to an Indian version of John Wick without guns.
Yes, perfect way to describe them.
That's a good analogy. I need to watch that.
It's fantastic, but Eric and I both left that theater and we're like, yo, the audio, like the audio mastering on that for the dialogue and stuff was awful. Like I was straining to listen and I had Dolby Cinema. You know what I mean?
So I think I watched it on the computer with headphones, so maybe that helped. But just the story alone, like I said, the best way I can describe it is John Wick without guns.
It's awesome because he pulls from a lot of Indian like mythology.
Yep.
With that god, and I definitely enjoyed that movie. It was an Uruguayan football team.
Okay.
That crashed for your comment earlier, and then like Godzilla -1 was phenomenal.
Yep.
But I'm not trying to watch a Godzilla film for people. Like I want to watch Godzilla fight fucking monsters. That's what I'm watching the film for. I could give 2 fucks about humans. Like
that movie was dope.
Yeah, -1 did such a good job though. Like
it was dope, but Kong versus Godzilla is way better. I want to see monsters fighting. I don't give a fuck about people who are cheating on each other, fucking being stupid. Like I'm just sorry. Like I want to see Godzilla. Like the movie's called Godzilla, not some schmuck who can't keep a job and hates his wife.
The whole point of Godzilla was a metaphor for the bomb in the first place. That's a good way to like come back to that original storyline.
Also, I will
Godzilla
say this:
versus monsters.
Monsters.
Go ahead, Jaber.
No, I will say this. Nick got me a little bit horny on this show. I got to put it on my queue now, but it's available on Prime Video for free. Monkey Man.
You talking about the movie?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Monkey Man. I'm just telling the listeners out there. Monkey Man available on Prime Video. If you guys want to watch it.
Yeah, it really is. Lots of fun action, honestly. I really had a good time. I mean, I put it on my list, right?
Yeah, I have it on my list now, so I'm trying to watch that now.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
As you guys mentioned, it came out back in March, February? I can't remember.
February, end of February, early March.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I thought shout out to Jason for having it. But I thought you guys might appreciate Wild Robot as well, just because of that animation, man. That might
So I have a confession. You remember I was super hyped for it, and I was the one who shared the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, this shit looks amazing." I haven't seen it, boys.
Dude, you gotta watch it, dude. You're gonna love it, dude. It feels like How to Train Your Dragon type esque. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, I do want to see it. It looks phenomenal, and like the artwork looks phenomenal. But it's on me. I haven't seen it. That's why it's not on the list. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
recommend it.
It's a little more primal, I'd say, than How to Train Your Dragon is, and the way it's executed. But my God, I think it may be one of the best made animated films I've ever seen. I'm not going to say it's the best because I don't want to hype it up, and then you come back and you're like, well, I mean, it was all right. But I do have a high value on that film. I mean, obviously, I put it as my number one. I honestly I can't remember a story that like pulled me in like that for an animated kids film in a long time. There were two this year. But yeah.
all right, so we're about to wrap up the movies part. I'm going to read through the list by vote, right, based on the points. While I'm reading through it, you guys think of any honorable mentions of films that you think the listeners should listen to, and then you can mention it before we move into shows. So winner by vote, obviously number one, we had Gladiator 2 with a whopping 35 points. The only other movie to have over 30 points comes in at number 2, and that's Twisters with 31. We move into number 3, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, 27 points. It's a fantastic movie. If you have not seen it, highly recommend it. Tied for 4, you had the Luigi's I Have a Kid movies, Inside Out 2 and Wild Robot at 17 points. Number 6, you had Dune Part 2 at 16 points. The two producers have kept quiet, but both of them despise that film, so that's why it came in so low. Number 7, we have Furiosa with 13 points. Number 8, Deadpool and Wolverine with 12 points. Tied for 9, Society of the Snow and Strange Darling at 10 points. That's Nevada and I's number ones. Tied for 11, we had Fall Guy, If, and Monkey Man with 9 points. 14, Moana 2, 8 points. 15, Wolves with 7 points, but Nevada said it was trash, so maybe I won't watch it. Tied for 16th, we have Civil War and Kinds of Kindness at 6 points. Tied for 18th, we have Beetlejuice, and Blitz at 5 points. Tied for 20th, Book of Clarence, Kong versus Godzilla, Wicked, all with 4 points. And the final two with 3 and 2 points, respectively. We have 23, Long Legs, and 24, Substance. All right, any honorable mentions, boys?
Yeah.
I do.
Go ahead, Jason.
I will say this: Ricky Stenicki with John Cena.
Yeah.
I think that's a great movie. I think it's available on
Prime
Video. Dude, it was like one of those like what's that one movie that we all loved when they were in Vegas?
Hangover.
It felt like that vibe. But it was just funny, dude. Like John Cena, you know, a wrestler trying to turn actor. It was good, man. Again, just another wrestler turned actor better than what's his fucking face? What's his name?
The Rock.
Rock. There we go. Yeah, bum ass actor. Like he's not good at acting. But yeah, dude, John Cena. Great in this movie. I recommend it.
You know, when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger as an actor, I think Oscar.
He's the GOAT, dude.
You're insane, dude.
That was the genuine.
I love his movie.
That's a genuine. You should be checked into to an insane asylum.
The Predator, Jingle All the Way.
They're
Dude,
great movies. They're fun, but like, come on.
All right, Nevada, Eric, you got any honorable mentions?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
I got a couple. Mike Riders was pretty good, just from like a storytelling perspective. I didn't put it on here because it was kind of basic, but Trap, M. Night Shyamalan, he finally didn't screw up an ending, which was nice. And then purely just for the acting for, I guess he would be the lead actor, but Speak No Evil with, why am I blanking on his name right now?
James McAvoy.
Yes, thank you.
Ooh,
We all know how good of an actor he is, but my God, the acting he did in that movie was I thought it was great.
I was sad I didn't get to see that movie before year end. I feel like it would have made my list.
It gave me the trailer gave me like an unsettling feeling. I haven't seen it, but like the trailer did that. I was like, I couldn't imagine watching that film.
So I would say his acting for the whole movie in Speak No Evil was kind of like if you were to take the final 20 minutes of what was the Unbreakable one?
Unbreakable Glassman.
Well, there's Unbreakable, there's Split, there's
Split.
Mr. Glass. Split is
Split.
James McAvoy with the split personality.
Yeah. So if you took like last 20 minutes where his personality is just all over the board, that was kind of him for the whole movie, but it's real subtle.
He's pigeonholing himself.
As a great actor, I know.
Yeah.
He's in every kind of film, dude.
I don't think he's pigeonholed. What are you talking about?
He was Professor X, my guy.
That's a crazy person. He has all the voices in his head. That's a crazy person.
No.
I appreciated him as ominous in Lion Witch in the Wardrobe too. Big shout out to that one. Random, I know. Eric?
That's a deep cut, Luigi.
Yeah.
Deep cut, exactly. You said shut up, Eric.
What did I do?
God.
Oh no.
Oh, he just mic dropped on you, bro.
He's asking for an honorable mention. Jason's ready to fight.
So number 4 for me, like it would have been number 4 on my list. So I'll throw as an honorable mention. Would have been Argyle. And then I don't know why none of us really think of putting Netflix movies, but Rebel Moon 2, Rebel Moon 1, it came out in 2023. But Rebel Moon, if you're a Star Wars fan, don't go watch it because you can clearly see him rip off Star Wars. He's just basically writing Star Wars with different character names. It's exactly what he's doing. But it's still entertaining and still good. It's not on my list because of that same fact. Like, this is a Star Wars house, right? Star Wars runs shit. But Rebel Moon's entertaining. And the chick's hot, dude. So don't sue me.
That's all you need to get a good film for dudes.
Argyle. Totally not what you expected it to be. A couple plot twists in it. Dua Lipa's on there for like 10 minutes. Sign me up, dude. Great movie.
Dua Lipa did such a good job at the beginning. I would love to see her play Tomb Raider.
That'd be sick. She's got the haircut and the body and everything.
Yeah. Put it away, Eric. Just fucking with you, bro.
Real quick, I was looking at my list for honorable mentions, and I know this group is going to love this one. Hate to Love Nickelback. It's a documentary.
That's like the best movie of the year, dude.
Should have been better than Gladiator 2. You heard it here. All right, let's get
This is how you remind me what I really am. Sorry.
I mean, our boy made the original Spider-Man soundtrack song. You know what I'm saying? And they say that a
hero can save me.
I knew Jason would jump in. I appreciate you, Jay. I do have a couple honorable mentions just because one is probably one of the most like out there endings I've ever seen. I thought I was about to watch a rom-com with my wife and we were ready and we're like, oh, this is cool. This is like a story of like, and then we were watching it more. We're like, oh, this is more of a story of like learning how to love yourself again. And then the movie turns into something fucking crazy at the end. It's called Your Monster. Pretty wild ending. Stick around to the very end if you guys watch this one. My other one would be Dee Dee. It is a coming of age story.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it's a good one. That one, like, not completely relatable, but a lot of moments that you can relate to or know people that went through those.
It was us growing up, dude. That's what it was.
Netflix,
it was us growing up, dude.
But he's just like the most socially inept person. I like more than anyone I've ever seen in our groups. I was like, man, he just really knows how to strike out.
It's autistic Jason, dude.
What the fuck? Really, bro? All right.
Yeah, but that was another one. I definitely think I should check that one out. And I haven't seen this one, but I'm gonna throw it out there because I still want to see it. I want to see that Coen Brothers movie. I think it's called Brothers on Amazon Prime. Definitely looks like a hilarious film with an all-star cast.
Yo, so I don't know if this came out in 2023, so you guys might have to check me, but how did A Quiet Place Day 1 not make anybody's list?
Because
it came out this year.
That movie.
Yeah. It's kind of
like
boring.
every time they talk, you're having to read lips, and I get it. Like, but in the original, they had subtitles, so I didn't have to worry.
Oh, okay. You want to be force fed everything. Cool. Or hand
No,
fed.
I want to be able to hear. I want to be able to hear.
Well, then
Eric.
why'd you put Monkey Man on your list?
It's not on your
That
list.
fucking movie.
I had no issue with the sound in that movie.
All I heard was 8 sounds and fucking fist flying through the air, dude.
At least
It
you
wasn't
Fuck
on
out of
your
here with
list,
your
Eric.
bullshit. Nah, I don't hear bullshit.
All right. I'm wrapping it up here. We're going way too long here, boys. Let's go ahead and get back into the year in review. We're going to shows next. So read your whole list in order and then talk about your list. So that way we're not taking long pauses in between the lists.
Oh, darn.
And then we're gonna go the opposite order this time. We'll go Nevada, Eric, myself, Nick, Jason, Luigi, and then I'll reveal the final order at the end. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it the whole time. But take it away, Nevada.
Hell yeah. Number one, I wish Nick was here to do it, but it was hold on. Stuff like that. Season 3 of The Bear at number 2, Penguin at number 3, Day of the Jackal for me at number 4, Presumed Innocent number 5, X-Men 97 number 6. Eric, you got me on it. Nobody Wants This at number 7. Black Doves number 8, Griselda number 9, and 10 is Fallout.
Sick.
You want to talk about any of those, Nevada?
Oh yeah, sure. I missed your instructions. I was looking at something else.
No, not you.
Yeah. Shogun was the Broncos just picked off Herbie. Perfect. Shogun, I thought was a great move or show. Some people were saying it was reminiscent of, was it Game of Thrones? I can't remember. Is it show?
Yes, a lot of comparisons. So.
Okay. I haven't seen Game of Thrones because I don't watch cartoons, but it was still good. Great show. I thought if you dig into the historical, not accuracy, but components of it, where the Japanese actors actually spoke basically Shakespearean Japanese, and a lot of them had to like relearn how to speak some Japanese. It's pretty impressive. They could have been saying God knows what, and I still would have thought it was badass. The Bear, again, they keep doing it year after year for me. It's a great show. I suppose you could say this may be their worst year as far as the show goes, but just to put it in perspective, this is per Rotten Tomatoes. Season 1 got a score of 100. Season 2 got a score of 99. Season 3 got a score of 94. So yeah,
it's the drizzling shits, dude.
Yeah, it's their worst one for sure. Penguin, I told this to a few of my friends that don't get into the comic book world. They're like, I'm really not gonna do it for Batman and stuff. There's no mention of that. There's no superhero mention. There's nothing like that. It's really just a mafia show. Great one. Day of the Jackal is a series from a movie from the 70s. Just a fun story to go through. The job of an assassin. Presumed Innocent, Jake Gyllenhaal, another great actor. It was a good story. Different twists and turns. Not really sure where it's going to go, but I thought that was a good one as well. X-Men 97, I think it's pretty much on everybody's that I can see for the most part, but just a great pickup, nostalgia from the 90s. Made me all warm and fuzzy inside. Nobody Wants This. Eric talked about it. It's higher on his list. I'll let him talk about that one. Black Doves, just another classic spy versus spy thing. Griselda was a series about the
Queen of Cocaine.
Queen of Cocaine down in Miami with God. Why am I blanking her name right now?
Sophia.
I was thinking of Zeta Jones. So yeah, but good story. And then Fallout was just a fun one. Not a lot of insight into that one, but it was just a fun series to watch.
Awesome. I'm going next. My list is completely busted, by the way, because in my infinite stupidity, I totally forgot The Bear season 3 came out. So that would have been my 101, but it's okay. So my actual number 1 right now is Silo season 2. Silo was my number 1 show last year. I forget her last name, but it's that super badass chick who's Rebecca something. I forget her name. I'll look it up.
Ferguson.
Yes, exactly. It's her. She's super badass. Talked about it last year. Season 2 is actually currently airing. It's not even done. I think like 7 episodes are out. So that you can jump in and catch right now. Number 2, Nobody Wants This. Jason actually put me on it. He texted everybody to watch it, and then I'm pretty sure I was the second person. I was like the only person that listened to him, and then I went and told everybody to watch it. Rom-com, Kristen Bell, Adam Brody. Just a unique twist on it, I guess you could say. It's a TV show, 10 episodes. Absolutely hilarious. Every episode, you will die laughing at some point. And then The Penguin, I mean, it's, you know, it's like on the level of like Goodfellas and stuff, like with the writing, how good it was and stuff. So, yeah, I should have put The Bear on here. Fucked up, but those are my top 3. Silo, Nobody Wants This, and The Penguin.
Well, you didn't have enough room on your list of 10, dude.
Yeah, I ran out of room.
Only put 3.
All right, I'm going next. I have number 1, X-Men 97. I thought it was better than the original.
I agree.
Like, the storytelling, the artwork, the character play, the way they pulled from so many amazing X-Men storylines that I grew up on and just combined them and merged them and told one cohesive unit and then left us on a cliffhanger. Absolutely stunning work. Kudos to that team. Number 2, my latest obsession coming from the anime world is One Piece, currently on the Egghead arc. One Piece is the greatest piece of fiction I've ever watched. Number 3, I got Solo Leveling. It's another anime coming in. Solo Leveling follows a character who so the term Solo Leveling is basically from a video game. So the character essentially unlocks almost a video game type world, and he is a hunter, and he levels up. And as he levels up, he becomes more and more powerful. For those of you who love Goku and Dragon Ball Z, this character, Jin Woo, has the potential to be the most OP character in anime history. Number 4, I've got Shogun. I was waiting for this for 2 years, and it did not disappoint. Absolutely phenomenal. I love period pieces, especially when period pieces are done well. The armor was fantastic. The cities that they built was fantastic. The ship warfare and the ship design was fantastic. The plot employs that they used against each other to get one up on each other was also phenomenal. You know, the sacrifices for characters and their homage to loyalty, which is deep and rich in Japanese culture, was so awesome in that. And then I went 5, The Bear, season 3. I fucking love this season. I actually think it might be my favorite season of The Bear. I think they've really hit their sweet spot. Like, they know exactly what they are. And the way the directors specifically shoot the culinary scenes, it's like, you know that these people legitimately love this. And the fact that when they're showing that just in episode 1 alone, when you have old buddy going to all the different kitchens, those are all famous chefs in the world. Yep. My guy is learning from legitimately famous chefs in the world. I thought that was an awesome touch. Then I got Penguin, Fallout, Arcane Season 2. Arcane Season 2 has the best artwork I've ever seen of any animation.
Correct.
Then Hard Knocks, the off season. Backdoor access to the draft, to the combine, all of that stuff, phenomenal. And then The Gentleman at 10. I love the movie and the show. I'm not sure which one I love more, the show or the movie. And they're both fantastic. But I'll tell you what, the fucking characters in the show make you want to pull your hair out.
I got a question.
Yep.
Does the movie have a chicken suit?
Does the movie have a chicken suit? No, but it has
Then the
Matthew
show is
McConaughey. Yeah, no, I'm going with
chicken suit is the best scene ever have in television, dude.
The chicken suit.
Ever.
Even better than Janet Jackson's nip slip at the Super Bowl, dude. That's how much.
I don't know.
It's so good.
You don't even have it on your fucking list. Shut up.
It's that good that he didn't put it on his list.
Yeah, dude.
He says it's good, but he doesn't have it on his list.
It's omnipresent or not. Go ahead.
Omnipresent. No, I finished my list. It's Nevada again,
Oh.
but he's not paying attention.
Oh, because Nick's
I'm paying attention.
Because you heard
Like-
your name.
Yeah. Well, like that drunk friend at the bar is like, oh, he passed out. I did. I'm right here. I'm not.
The dad watching TV. Hey, where's the remote?
Exactly. Well, I was trying. Never mind. Won't get into it. Grand Tour. The final season for Grand Tour, they sent it off. I'm guessing Nick had it on here for the nostalgia on here. Anybody
that
who's
the-
watched, the
Old British guys.
yeah. Why am I drawing a blank on the Top Gear?
You and McGregor. Oh, it's Top Gear.
Yeah, so it's Top Gear, but they moved over to Amazon when they got their PP slapped and created Grand Tour, which was basically just one 90-minute episode a couple times a year. So this was their final one. So there was a little bit of nostalgia on that one for sure. Secret Level got me. Never heard of it.
It just came out. It's an anthology series that Sony put together. It's about 16 episodes, I think. It might be a little less than that, but the first 8 dropped. Basically, all the video games that we grew up on, Pac-Man, Sifu, they all get their own episode. So it literally just came out December 10th. So that's why you're unfamiliar with it.
Yes, I remember us talking about that. That rings a bell now. Bad Monkey, I believe Jason, you were talking about it as far as the series goes, or mentioned it.
He said the wrong thing. He was talking about the movie.
Oh, he said show. Okay, my bad. Bad Monkey's on there. Also, not sure what that one is. Gentlemen,
it's Vince Vaughn apparently.
Oh,
He's a Miami Police Department member turned health inspector. All right, that's Andrew Yancey. Apparently, it's a comedy on Apple TV Plus with Vince Vaughn.
that would be Nick. That would be Nick.
yeah, all Apple TV stuff. The Gentlemen, like Jermaine said, another Guy Ritchie inspired. Was he the director for it as well, or just?
He was directly involved with it. Yeah, he didn't direct everything.
He was the showrunner,
He
not
was
the
showrunner.
director.
He
Right.
was directly involved with all the production.
Right, but the spinoff from the Gentleman movies, but that was also a good show. And then obviously, like we've said before, X-Men '97. I don't think there's a reason why it shouldn't be on anybody's. But yeah, those are the 5 that Nick submitted.
Jay Bird?
Oh yeah, for me, I guess I'll go. So number 1 for me was the Penguin. I think every performance from each character was probably worth an Emmy, personally. I love the character. What's her name? Sophia?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yes.
I knew her from How I Met Your Mother, right? I loved her as that character, and like seeing her into this, like just from her as she was the mother from How I Met Your Mother to this character, I was like, whoa, phenomenal. Also, with the Penguin character, right? God damn, what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell?
Yeah, dude.
It was Russell Crowe, dude. Russell Crowe played the Penguin.
Oh, Russell Crowe. Yeah. No, yeah. Just with Colin Farrell, like, and playing that character, like, and the makeup and stuff like that. Like, I honestly, you literally like lose yourself within that character. Like, you don't even see him as that character. Like, again, the reason why I lost, like, I couldn't tell who he was, right? So it was kind of nice to see. So I love this show. I think it should win an Emmy. I think it's going to win a lot of awards. It can be 1 and 2 for me for the next show. The next one that I put for my number 2 was for Shogun. I think every character was phenomenal in this one. A lot of period pieces. I had to connect with Luigi on this one because he knew a lot more of the history than I did. So it was kind of nice to see about these characters, and like, again, a lot of character development. I think was a lot for me for these 1 through 5, I would say, for Penguin, Shogun, House of Dragon Season 2, The Gentleman, Fallout, all those. I felt like it was a lot of character development within those shows. I know not a lot of people like House of Dragon and all that stuff, but I personally thought it was one of the better seasons. People love Game of Thrones, but I think House of Dragon season 2 is probably the best one for me. You guys can fight me on that one. That's totally okay. And then The Bear season 3, again, another character development show that I absolutely loved. One show that I really do want to highlight that Eric put on his list, and I think someone else put it on their list. Nobody Wants This. It's probably the best rom-com show ever. If it was a movie, it'd probably be up there with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 10 Things I Hate About You. It's one of those shows that if you like rom-coms, this is the one for you, you know? Interview with the Vampire, I just kind of want to highlight that one as well. If you saw the movie back in the 90s with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, that movie was very interesting, right? It had its own story and stuff like that. And it kind of adds on to this in this show, Interview with the Vampire, with season 2. It's on Netflix. I believe season 1 is available on for you guys. And then lastly, Presumed Innocent is another TV series that was a movie back in the 80s that was recreated back into a show created now with, what's his name?
Gyllenhaal.
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, yes. Really great show with a nice, good twist. I highly recommend it. It's a quick series available on Apple TV Plus. I highly recommend it if you guys want to watch it. And it's very quick, right? Once you watch that first episode, you're gonna be like, all right, I gotta watch the next one.
Yep.
Right. I feel like that's what you gotta do with shows, right? Like you watch an episode and you're like, I kind of want to watch the next one. Well, like let's see what this is about, right? So and that's why I put those in my top 10. From there, gotta turn it over to my buddy Luigi here.
All right, so I guess I misunderstood the assignment on multiple fronts here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My number 1 is inaccurate, but it gets the points because I was incorrect in how I entered. My number 1 on the list is Penguin. I'm going to give it its due. I think it's a great character study on a villain from a different standpoint. Usually we see a lot of focus on the Joker. We see a lot of focus on Two-Face when it comes to Batman stories. Bane, possibly, just because he, broke the Bat's back. This is one of the times that I've seen a real focus on the Penguin, not just a surface level look. It really dives into what kind of a human being has to be that type of gangster. And he does an amazing job of just being the biggest sociopath you have ever seen. Like, the man will do anything to get what he wants. He was willing. I mean, everyone's seen it here, right? Before I spoil.
Which one?
All right.
You're good.
He's willing to let his own mother get
Spoilers.
possibly mortally injured to keep his own lie, right? It's one of the craziest moments on the show, and it's just captivating to see, right? I think Christina Milioti playing Sophia is just magnetic. Every time you see her on the screen, yeah, she's fantastic. Every time you see her on the screen, she is just pulling you in, unless Colin Farrell's in the scene, right? That's the only time that she's not taking the spotlight. So I really have to give her dues. And what I really enjoyed about the show is sometimes you can't really relate to the big mobster or the person who's got all the money in terms of like how they live their life, right? Like, I'm not going out and stabbing people and running crime syndicates, right? But they really grounded it to a regular person's story with Victor's storyline, which again turns tragic in the end. My God, the way they take you through the story with Victor and how it ends is just a heart-wrenching moment, but it's what defines the Penguin at the end of the show. So got to give it its due. I think Colin Farrell should get nominated for an Emmy, if not win the Emmy. There's someone else that I think should also get nominated, so I'm going to go into that. The one I meant to have as my number one is Shogun, and then I have Baby Reindeer at number 3. I'm going to come back to Shogun. The best thing that I noticed about Shogun is just how historically accurate it was without taking away from the story. Sometimes you only get one or the other, right? You get a great story, but it's nonsensical in terms of how it lands in actual history, or the other way around. It's great with the historical accuracy, but it's boring as shit. No, this one doesn't do either of those two things, right? It takes you into a world that is so accurate. The scenes and cinematography in that show are unbelievable. From what I understand, they recreated whole towns from that time period up to the last brick to make this show look as good as it does. It follows the story of Ieyasu Tokugawa leading them into the Tokugawa shogunate, which is what we all know of with samurai. There's only one other samurai that I can think of from before that time span that is pretty famous.
Jack or Afro?
Oh, I don't know that one. Maybe there's more than I need.
Jack or Afro? Samurai Jack or Afro?
Oh, it's got to be Samurai Jack.
Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
I heard it was so accurate they had actual actors committing seppuku on set.
You know what? They did, and RIP. I appreciate their sacrifice. But Hiroyuki Sanada, I really think should get nominated. I don't know if he could beat out Colin Farrell's performance. I think Colin Farrell had to pull more than Hiroyuki did because he's just in more scenes. He does more work. But again, visually stunning. Lady Mariko, now that Best Supporting Actress should go to her for that role. My God.
Yep.
Now that one, she stole every scene. Every scene she was in, you were looking at her. You were trying to figure out what she was going to do next, what her story was going to take you to. I really enjoyed that. And of course, I enjoyed the back and forth that Jermaine mentioned with all these characters, just backstabbing left and right, getting the upper hand in one way or another. I thought it was just thrilling. So I only put 3 on my list, guys, because I thought there was going to be too much time spent. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to put 3. I'm not going to make it too crazy. So I'm going to have some shout outs. I didn't understand the assignment. So we'll come back to those in a bit.
Wow, a teacher didn't understand the assignment. The youth is fucked.
Or how about the instructions weren't as good as they probably should have been? I don't know.
What are you talking about? We even had a whole discourse about top 10.
I asked you. I asked you. I was like, "How many are we doing?" You're like, "Whatever, however many." I was like, "Okay."
And then I came back and said 10 because I don't want someone to give us 50.
You said max 10, so I was like, "Okay, that's the long shot." So I didn't clearly get that when you told me that. I was like, "Okay, max 10." So
when you see a speed limit of 55, you go 35 then.
Nobody does that, Jermaine. Everybody goes 60.
Okay, so then I gave you a max of 10. You should have gave me 10.
I don't know. That don't work for me.
Okay, well then drive 35 on a 55. You dork. But we'll give you a chance for honorable mention, Luigi. I'm going to go through the list by vote. Number 1, we had Penguin at 41 points. Number 2, we had Shogun at 35 points. Number 3, X-Men 97 at 26 points. Number 4, Bear Season 3 at 18 points. Number 5, Nobody Wants Us at 16 points. Number 6, The Gentleman at 15 points. Number 7, The Fallout, just Fallout, at 11 points. Tied for 8th, you had Grand Tour and Silo Season 2 at 10 points. Tied for 10th, you had One Piece and Secret Level at 9 points. Tied for 12th, you had Baby Reindeer, Bad Monkey, House of Dragons, and Solo Leveling at 8 points. Tied for 16th, you had Day of the Jackal, Presumed Innocent at 7 points. Tied for 18th, you had Arcane Season 2 and Black Doves at 3 points. And tied for 20th, you had Griselda, Hard Knocks Off-Season, and Interview with a Vampire Season 2 at 2 points. All right. Anybody got any honorable mentions before I move us to the next category?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, you guys mentioned a good amount of them, so I won't go through too much. I'm just going to build on what Jermaine said. Arcane. So Wild Robot may be the best animated film I've ever seen. Arcane is the best animation, period. I don't think you'll see anything that has better animation anywhere in any place in time. The animation on that second season is probably some of the most beautiful work that's been put out. Jermaine, I don't know if you agree, but it's just,
No, I agree.
yeah, it's stunning, dude. It's amazing. I
$250 million. They should have got it right.
yeah, yeah, I would agree there. I'm gonna totally agree with God. I don't know if it was Eric or Nevada that said it. I totally dropped the ball on the Bear season 3. Great show. I can't believe I didn't think of that one. But I was trying to keep it short and sweet, because when you get assigned something, you don't do the max. Every person knows that, but I'm not going to keep on that. Anyway, Masters of the Air. Nobody mentioned it. I really thought Eric was going to throw that one in there.
Well,
I thought Eric,
but it would have been it's an HM.
Okay. So I thought it was a great add-on to that world that they've done with Band of Brothers, The Pacific, Saving Private Ryan. Just a great addition to it from the Air Force standpoint. And Rings of Power season 2, significantly better than the first season, and really takes you kind of more of where you wanted to go and what you wanted to see from a Lord of the Rings show. My wife is really into fantasy, so we powered through that whole season, and I didn't mind it at all. I really enjoyed watching it. So those are some that I wanted to make sure that I added on to our list.
Any others? Go ahead, Louis.
I had some Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus. It's a multi-universe type of show. Very great. It's with you guys remember the movie The Warrior, right? Not the main, not the character that we know, right?
Not Tom Hardy, but his brother.
Not Tom Hardy, but the brother. He's the main character. That's a great show on Apple TV Plus. It's a great multiverse type of show that you want to watch if you like sci-fi. Another one that I do like to throw in there is Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Childish Gambino. It starts off pretty comedic, and then it gets really dark, and you start really figuring out the characters after that. I do recommend that. That's on, I want to say Prime, I think. I can't remember. Or Apple TV Plus.
It's Prime, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It's Prime. Okay, cool. Yeah. Baby Reindeer, I think Luigi talked about that, available on Netflix. That was amazing. There's one episode that was really, really dark about SA and stuff like that. It hit really deep, and then it got really, I don't know. It was just really good. I recommend that one as well. Invincible Season 2, Part 2 came out this year. Kind of sucked that we had to fucking wait for like 6 months to see the next episode. I would also say, I said Baby Reindeer, I said Presumed Innocent, and the last one, I guess I would say The Acolyte on Disney Plus. Don't watch.
No way.
Do not watch that.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, do not watch that. I love Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and usually I like everything. I like everything that Star Wars has to put out, and this was the first one where I had to say, enough is enough. Enough is enough, dude. Fuck that show. That was terrible. I like that they teased something, but like it was just not the right time, and please do not watch it. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sorry that you had to go through that if you guys watch that. So that's one thing I have to say. Don't waste your time watching that.
I did not. So,
yeah,
Nevada, you want to wrap up our honorable mentions?
I think the only one that I would have that hasn't been mentioned was probably Ripley. It's on, pretty sure it was Netflix. It kind of has a noir film feel to it. It's set in the, I want to say it was like the 50s ish, something like that. It's kind of slow, drawn out, but the story is still good. The main character is kind of like a miniature version of the Penguin, as far as his conniving nature and not so much psychopathy. So you know what I'm trying to say. But just kind of being more of like a grifter and stuff like that. So not bad. I wouldn't blame anybody for not watching it because it is kind of slow, but it's still a pretty decent show.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're selling me on this.
I'm not trying to, because I would totally understand if you watched it and then you're like, I just wasted 10 hours of my life watching this. Yeah, okay. But
Jaybird watched The Acolyte. He'll be all right.
I love period pieces, so I'm gonna watch it. But dang, my expectations are low right now.
Perfect.
Nevada's pitched it real well. Eric, you got any last honorable mentions or no?
So the one thing is nobody mentioned it. I'm not sure everyone saw it, but seasons 1, 2, and 3 are phenomenal. So I'm assuming season 4 of The Boys is great. I just haven't seen it.
It's pretty good.
But the fact that nobody's mentioned it might be alarming because seasons 1, 2, and 3 were on everybody's list.
It's so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard season 4 is just not as good.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Yeah, by no means bad. It's just it's
not as good as different. Okay, cool. Yeah. So no, I don't have any other honorable mentions besides that.
All right, let's go ahead and get into biggest surprise. So Nick and Eric didn't submit anything for this one, so we will just go ahead and get into it. Luigi, you want to start us off?
Yeah, for me, it would be, I had two. So it would be the United CEO getting popped. That was a pretty wild moment. That was a surprise from 2024, if there was any. And the other one for me was underwater aliens. Not only do we have aliens, we have underwater aliens that we have most likely had contact with.
Shut down the border. Shut down that ocean border.
Let's set up the border patrol all along the beach. Can't have those guys coming in. Can't have them coming in.
All right. Look, dude, that CEO thing is crazy, but it's just distracting everyone from what's happening in Syria. So that's pretty fucking crazy. But underwater aliens, I mean, I'm all about it, dude.
So are you talking about the Syrian civil war? Or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's stuff going on in Syria?
That's
the president getting overthrown after 12 years of just heinous. They're trying to build the pipeline that goes through Turkey instead of Russia. It's shocker. That one's U.S. backed. The Syria shit is crazy. But all right, go ahead, Jason.
Wild. I guess for me, the number one thing, because everyone knows.
No, you mentioned it 2 minutes into the podcast. I'm stunned. This is your number one? No.
Yeah, I guess you can say I'm a Kendrick Glizzy Globber, right? Whatever. But dude, just the fact that Drake took that massive L, dude. Like, we knew he was gonna lose the rap beef, right? But the fact that he lost it with and it's still going on right now, dude. It's crazy, like how bad he's losing this rap beef. The dude was losing the rap beef so bad that he had to go to his lawyers and fucking start suing. You don't do that as a rapper, dude. Like it's insane how bad he's losing right now.
I will say Drake's reaction to all of this has not been up to par, one would say. I think
not as a rapper. Yeah.
No, I mean, and the weird thing is, maybe not in this group of people, but most people considered Drake to be the guy, right? Like, he was getting out all the hits. He had the catalog. Yeah. I don't think people understood what was going to happen between him and Kendrick and their lyrical abilities. Because, I mean, when you look at the composition, like every single song that Drake put out that was a diss had help. He had like two people helping him write these songs, or just writing them for him. Whereas all of the credits for Kendrick's songs were for Drake or Kendrick. So yeah, I'll give you that, man. It is a big L.
Yeah, not only that, but I think why Kendrick won in my opinion. He says, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he raps, right? Or like he tries to be hard.
Yeah.
And I'm looking back at all the songs that I like from Drake. It's a lot of songs that I like where he's melodies. Best I Ever Had, Teenage Fever, Passion Fruit, all that. All those songs, I love those songs. I don't like when he's like trying to be a rapper. We don't like Drake like that. I don't know, because he's being fake. Anyways, took a massive L, has not recovered. Maybe it's better for the rap game, the rap culture. It could be. Who knows? But also another thing that I was pretty surprised about this year was a lot of the conspiracies theories that we were questioning about are starting to come true. Like you mentioned about the UFOs and shit like that. A lot of stuff is coming true, which pretty interesting. Honestly, that was a big surprise for me. And then
Yeah, baby lotion, man. Baby lotion everywhere.
yeah, dude, baby lotion, baby oil, all that good stuff. Not good stuff, sorry. But yeah, it was just a shocker. I was like, it's finally coming to light, you know what I mean? And then lastly, the Sabrina Carpenter album, dude. That was actually a huge surprise for me.
I hear good
I
things.
love that album, dude. I have a good time listening to that album, dude. I will put it on and I will fucking dance and sing along to it. It was awesome. She's going on tour right now, killing it. I would not pay $500 to be on nosebleeds. It's fucking amazing though. Like her songs are amazing. I can see why her tickets are that, but I won't pay for that shit. But still, the fact that she's doing that, and the fact that her fucking boyfriend, fuck that fool, cheating on her, like, and she's
Oh my God.
How do you cheat on her, bro?
Or
How do you
her.
do that?
Oh my goodness.
You fucking
You
Right?
know,
You know how easy it is to cheat, Bird? Like, what are you talking about?
You don't cheat on a girl like that, bro. What the fuck, bro? Like,
Those are the girls that get cheated on the most, brother.
And then watch. I bet you she's cheating too. Like, that's what's so funny.
she might be cheating too. You're right. I don't know, but like, still, like, Barry Keoghan is not an attractive dude, bro. Like,
That bank account.
I'm not a cute guy. I think I'm better looking than that fool. You know what I mean?
No, you're pretty jibber.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But still, like, fuck, like, dude, how do you cheat on that?
I don't know if she's that hot, Jaybird.
You honestly, man, she looks a little
she's an attractive girl.
Turn her sideways and you'll
very
understand.
attractive girl.
I've seen some photos, and I'm not like, oh my God, how could you cheat on her?
She's to me,
But
she's got
that's
a Gwen vibe from Spider-Man. When Bryce Dallas
and I
Howard
like-
was Gwen.
I'm more of a Gwen type than a Mary Jane type. I would say that.
Yeah.
She's got a legendary dumper, dude.
Does she? I don't know if she does, honestly.
Great analysis, Eric.
What? Okay.
All I'm saying, man,
I'm
it
not
was a
disagreeing.
great surprise. It was a great surprise. That album is fire. And I hope nothing but the best for her. And I hope she, wow, dumper. There you go.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying her looks, bro. I'm saying her music. Her music is fire, bro. And I hope she keeps continuing on doing what she does. So that's what I'll say about that. And go ahead. I'll take it on to you, Jermaine.
Number one, I've got Diddy, Jay-Z, Drake, and the fall of hip hop. So for the last 25 years, hip hop has been has skyrocketed to the top of the charts and has actually like overtaken rock and roll and is almost on par with pop music as far as its popularity, its cultural relevance, and its impact on the youth. But seeing all the things that are coming out with P. Diddy and all of his parties that LeBron and all those other people love to go to. Now you have Jay-Z getting implicated in this, and Drake has been implicated for some of the same things. And Jaybird did mention that one of his songs was Teenage Fever, so that seems a little out of pocket. But all this coupled with the lack of quality coming out of the hip hop sphere the oversaturation of hip hop. Nobody has anything really relevant to say. It's all ass, titties, chains. I mean, as evidenced by the whole Sabrina Carpenter thing, right? I mean, everything's so hypersexualized. No one cares about anything else of substance anymore. So I just thought 2024 was kind of the final death nail in hip hop having this kind of stranglehold on the youth, and you see it like they're actually pivoting towards more of the other music, and you see it with the growth in rock and more alternative type sounds and how people are differentiating from what they once listened to. And honestly, the quality of content in hip hop, and not that I listen to most of that stuff, but shouldn't be it's something that the youth listen to in general. So
Yep.
And that's coming from a guy who kind of grew up on hip hop. But number 2, biggest surprise was going to see the Grateful Dead at the Sphere. It was a life-changing moment, man. Like that concert, yeah. It almost makes me not want to go see other live music because nothing's ever going to top that.
That was last minute for you too, right?
No, I mean we were going to go for my birthday in August, but I was supposed to go on a trip to Hawaii. So we just took the plunge last minute, but we were always going to go. Like we had dates that we were always going to go to. Dude, it was phenomenal. John Mayer, outstanding guitarist. I mean, Grateful Dead, phenomenal. And the graphics.
Jealous.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. And the Sphere is everything that it's kind of cracked up to be. So it was pretty dope to go see that. Number 3 biggest surprise is that so many people, educated people primarily as well. It's like they keep getting caught up in this emotion versus logic, like debacle, and no one's really receptive to new ideas. They live in their echo chamber, and the 2024 was just like the epitome of that, right? Like for years, people have been saying, the vaccines for COVID are awful for you. And now there's bombshell report after bombshell report, and it's written by the sources that were telling you before they're safe and effective. And now they're telling you about all these negative impacts about the COVID vaccine. But everyone who villainized people who didn't want to get the vaccine, there's no mea culpa coming from that. Joe Biden clearly had dementia when he was elected. And then he was elected and diminished greatly over his term. And those people they're still like, no, anybody but Trump. They'd rather have someone losing their mind have the keys to the kingdom and the nuclear codes than some guy who says mean things. And so, like, I've just been severely disappointed by how people are just so governed by emotion. And it just it's disappointing to see from that perspective. And the emotion has torn families apart. It's torn friend groups apart. And it's just disappointing to see from that perspective. And so that was kind of my biggest surprise. I thought we were getting better, but it's actually infinitely worse, in my opinion. Number 4, you have the battle of technology. All of them have $3 trillion valuations. NVIDIA actually overtook Microsoft at one point this year for the most valuable company in the world, which hadn't been done in ages. Then Apple as well has been battling with them. So $3 trillion valuation is just insane for these companies. I don't know how you let anything become that valuable, but it's pretty crazy to see. And then number 5 and 6 kind of tie into the number 3 portion, but it's like people actually celebrated the Trump assassination attempt, which is fucking crazy. Like just watching that on Twitter, I was just like, damn, you guys are celebrating that someone almost lost his life. There's just that's kind of deranged and sick. And then it was irresponsible of us as a society to elect Joe Biden into office when my man was going up there and giving speeches, and we didn't understand what he was saying. And then, it's just, it was a bad look overall. Like it almost felt like elderly abuse, and people, people sat online and made fun of him. And it's just like, dude, if that was your grandpa, you would not feel that way. You know what I mean? Also, your grandpa's not running for president at 78, 80 years old, but it's like, it felt awful to watch that go down. But go ahead, Nevada.
Yeah, I was going to say off that, the Biden point, when he had his first debate with Trump, and he goes off on these weird tangents and doesn't go anywhere. And when Trump can body you on a one-on-one, and he looks over at Joe and he's like, he doesn't even know what he said and can carry on, and everybody's like, Trump is right. Even Uncle Joe doesn't know what the hell he just said. I mean, that is bad.
Yeah, it was disappointing, man. Like, that man wasn't fit for that, and they prostituted him around for 4 years, and then finally, and we'll get into it on the next part, but they finally gave the man a break. But it was disappointing to see, and it is kind of ugly to see. Like, and don't get me wrong, I laughed at it myself, just because I thought it's just one of the most comical things ever. It's just like, this man is the president of the United States, and he basically spilled the alphabet soup out of his mouth, and you have no clue what he said. Like, I'm like, how is I mean, it's funny, but it's alarming. It's like, that man's making important decisions, and it's just going on. I was just disappointed by that, or just surprised that we let it get that far. But Nevada, go ahead.
All right. All of mine are sports betting. I must have been or not sports betting, but sports related. Must have just been on the brain. But number one, which came down just, I believe it was last week, Bill Belichick going to UNC. If anybody,
Eric, how do you feel, Eric?
Yeah, how do you feel about your team getting Belichick?
We're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, dude. North Carolina. Your team, brother.
I think if you were to ask most people to begin with, they probably would have said, yeah, Belichick will probably be head coach again, especially when the Jets are still a team. I don't think anybody would have seen him go to college, just the way the college is set up right now with NIL and the portal and all that. Seems like a nightmare, but here we are. He's jumping into it. I do love the memes with him and his girlfriend about being able to recruit young talent. He should have no problem in college. So we'll see how that goes. But that was a big surprise. Indiana University Hoosier football. The head coach comes over from James Madison and just lights it up. Obviously, they shit the bed when they played Ohio State, but I don't think anybody had on their bingo card that they'd be playing in the college football playoffs here on
tomorrow,
Saturday, Friday or Saturday.
Tomorrow. Indiana Notre Dame is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. Shot out of a cannon like with their hair on fire. So it'll be fun to see what they can do, but definitely a surprise. Obviously, this one's a homer pick, but when you look at the history of it, the Avs cleaning out all of their goalies and getting new goalies before Christmas hasn't happened since I think it was like the 1950s that a team has done that.
Holy shit.
Let alone a team changing both of their goalies hasn't happened since like the mid 2000s or something. I think it was Buffalo. So it's very rare for that to happen. Very unusual, quite risky, but here we are, and they're playing much better for it. Jermaine has mentioned this in the podcast a few times, mostly in the off season, but it showed its head this year. But essentially, the resurgence of having a bell cow running back. Pretty much all the free agent running backs that were on the previous teams and moved over to other teams, by and large, have been phenomenal, relatively speaking. And they're probably going to get paid a little bit more this go round. A handful of them are on 1-year deals. So It's kind of cool to see that. And we're not even talking about CMC because he's basically been out the entire year. And then the biggest surprise, my favorite surprise, if you guys follow the podcast, Nick's head-to-head record is just mind blowing. Like I know you could make some wild parlays to get to where he's at, but there's been weeks where he does not make wild parlays and he is still this bad. Like we were joking that he could beat the was it the Cleveland Spiders or something, like their MLB record for worst record. I think he's surpassed it, or he's very close to.
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's could touch them, to be honest. It was like some ridiculous number when we looked at it, but
yeah. But I mean, the guy tries. I think this week he's phoned in some minus bets just to try to get 3-0. I haven't kept track of them to see what they're at, but
it's what we call hoe shit.
Yeah. From early January to now, he averages probably 1.5 wins a month.
Yeah.
So good job, big fella. But man, hopefully 2025 has got to be better, right? You can only go up from there. But what a surprise.
For our Revenge of the Pod listeners that might not tune into the 303, his record this year is 18 wins, 131 losses, and 1 tie.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Were the wins?
Were the wins big, you asked?
No.
No. Oh, man.
What do we got next?
Appointments? Yeah, does anyone have any honorable mentions for that before we move on?
Nope.
I didn't give a list, but now that I was trying to think of something, it didn't cross my mind. But the fact that we witnessed the presidential assassination attempt, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we witnessed that. Like, it's in my mind, but it's pretty, like, what, Reagan was the last one?
Yeah, Reagan.
Yeah.
Which was, 82, I think, when that happened? Like, that's crazy.
If people were upset it wasn't successful, I was like, that's wild, dog. I was like,
I'm not a Trump fan, but yeah, that was pretty wild. The second it happened, I was like, well, he won now.
yes, absolutely, he won.
Look, I'm not a Cowboys. I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't want Jerry Jones to get shot in the face. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You gotta
Yes,
separate.
Eric, we know what you mean.
You gotta separate that. That's, I don't know. That's just disgusting, dude.
No, it's
Anyway.
pretty crazy.
On to the disappointments, as my mother would say.
Well done. Nevada, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Number one, easy. Dodgers winning the World Series.
Should be number one for all of us.
I said it in our 303 group chat. If I won the lotto, I'd buy the Dodgers just to fold the franchise, so it could never see the light of day again, and it'd be money well spent.
Waste of money.
I think it's a great use of money. Number two, the Nashville Predators. We've kind of touched on them a little bit, probably about a month ago with Eric and I. Every time there's a super team, again, football, hockey, baseball, basketball, massive expectations. Very rarely do they actually meet those expectations, and here they are. I don't think they even have 10 wins yet on the season.
They do not. 9-17-6, and they're the worst team in the league.
Yeah, that is
Shocking.
that is.
Flyers can't stop a puck from saying it live.
Yeah, it's crazy to think they may actually have to move on from the head coach, who's what should be a good head coach, but that's where we're at. Florida State football. Good Lord. That was a dumpster fire that just got kerosene thrown on it. Just when you thought, like, oh, they're 0-2, 0-3, they can't go 0-4, right? They got a layup game to get 4. Nope, they get blown out for that game as well, and it just kept going. I don't know how Mike Norvell still has a job.
He's got naked photos of somebody.
Yeah, he's got blackmail.
Naked photos. They got boosters at the Yin Yang that would be willing to buy him out, which is a massive amount. I think I heard it was going to be something like somewhere to 60 to 80 million bucks or something like that. But I don't know why they're hanging on to him. Number 4, Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, playing for the Jets doesn't help his case much, but
Wash.
yeah, here's another example of a 40-year-old quarterback. They don't show up. All right, Tom Brady was a unicorn. God, who else would be 40? Drew Brees got pretty close. He was 38, 39 when he finally hanged him up, something like that.
I mean, Peyton couldn't even turn his neck left or right when he was playing in like at 38 or 39.
Yeah, he was throwing up ducks. So we've seen it with Aaron Rodgers. Granted, the last week or so, we found some chemistry with Devontae, but that's far too little, too late. And then finally, number 5, the sequel to the Joker. Just a bad movie, bad direction to take
watching
it.
So many people said so many bad
I haven't even seen it. No. Luigi, have you seen it?
No.
We all love the first one. None of us watched the second one.
Nope.
The backlash was so immediate that I was like, I'll wait till I like have nothing else to watch.
So never.
Honestly, Nevada has a great, like, when he makes recommendations, they tend to be good. So when he was like very adamant about like, I'd rather, drive up a meat grinder, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was turning 42 when he retired. About.
Oh, okay, shit. It's turning 42. So, all right. But yeah, there you go. Hall of Fame quarterback. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is, but man.
Did you read that hit piece that came out today about the Jets?
Woody?
About Woody
bit.
Johnson?
Yeah, a little bit of it. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, he's so ready for this season to be over. The fact that he got blamed, he told Woody Johnson, have patience. And then Aaron Rodgers got blamed for Robert Saleh getting fired is crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's a dumpster fire of a franchise. Man.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll hit mine real quick. Opening ceremony in the Olympics. I look forward to them every year, and this one was just really fucking weird. There was some cool stuff in it, but the French, man,
it's really lackluster.
The French, like, they dropped the ball on it, and then they got really weird with some stuff that I was not super happy about. I was like, yo, kids watch this shit. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Collapse of the Pac-12. I mean, that goes without saying, but I mean, yeah, we grew up on the Conference of Champions for how long?
Yep.
And that shit just overnight, it was just gone. And so I was like, damn, that was pretty disappointing. And I think number 2 directly resulted in number 3. Bill Walton passed away.
R.I.P.
Yeah, Bill Walton's, I have a lot of love for Bill Walton. Really loved him. Loved him when he did Pac-12 After Dark. Thought he was just a great human being. So I was kind of a bummer to watch. Then the Hunter Biden and Joe Biden actually colluding with Russia, but nobody caring since it wasn't Trump, and then he got pardoned. So we'll never know. We'll never know what actually happened with all that. An active sitting president and his ties to a foreign entity. I guess no one really cares because it's not an angry, mean person. But this one really pissed me off because it was the nail in the coffin for the election. But it's like the Democratic Party circumvented the party nominations. She was not liked the last time she was like had like a 12% approval rating when she was actually running for president. And then you circumvented it to put your hand-picked candidate in, and then you're surprised nobody picked her.
That one I can agree with. Yeah. I mean, I knew that if they didn't put her in at least with a year and a half time, she wasn't going to have any sort of a chance. The fact that we didn't even get a choice didn't make any sense to me.
I was like, dude, as a Democrat, if I was a Democrat, I'll be like, what the fuck are we doing? That's crazy. They circumvented basically due process, like our right to choose and elect and vote. But the Republicans are the party that I don't get it. I hate both parties. Libertarian until I die. And then last but not least, nobody talks about it. But another archbishop This time, the Archbishop of Canterbury resigned for more child abuse. And it's just like, how many fucking times we can go through this?
I mean, who's holding them accountable?
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's
Yeah.
holding them accountable. Parents keep letting their kids hang out with these creepy dudes with crazy outfits. Like, what are we fucking doing?
And you know what's crazy is like this isn't even remotely new. This is like close to a centuries long problem from what I understand. So I'm like, what are we
It's
Long
longer
time.
than that,
what are
bro.
we doing? Like I don't understand. There's clear issues, and you know the Pope has mentioned that he doesn't believe that priests should be celibate. He doesn't believe things like that, and I think that would help. If a area open, it would probably like curb some of those weird feelings that they get later in down the line.
People could barely do No Nut November. You want them to do No Nut Lifetime, dude? What are we doing, boys?
Rough.
There's just some outdated ways of thinking, but God forbid the Catholic Church changes anything.
They're embracing the gays. Why can't priests fuck? Like, I don't get it. Like, if now you're embracing gays and trans, which is wild in its own right, like, but priests still can't fuck.
I'd say most of the Catholic Church does not embrace them still. I mean, they still don't think they're going to heaven. Like, how much are they? How much?
The Pope has actually come out and spoken in favor of
The Pope has also spoken out saying like that these people should not be, like these people that commit child abuse should not be in like positions of power, but nobody fucking listens to that guy. So like
another old guy that everyone thinks has dementia.
everyone beneath him is just like, no, he's too out there for us. He's too progressive for us. I'm like, yeah, well, he's not for kids being touched. So maybe we should start there. I don't know.
The wild concept, Luigi. What were you saying, Eric? Sorry, we didn't hear you.
Just the Pope is just a man. He's not special.
Yeah.
He's just a dickhead like everybody else, dude.
He's probably the world's biggest dickhead.
Arguably.
All right, Jason, you want to give us your list?
Yes, sir. The men and women's volleyball team during the Olympics, dude, they didn't get a gold at all. I thought that was very disappointing. I think it was also because I was very invested in it. So I think that's why I was very disappointed.
Dramatic ass cough.
I know, dude. They should have won, bro. Like literally everything. They had the team, everything. Another one, I would say the NBA. And I put this because this was like before like the media started saying like, hey, what's wrong with the NBA? The ratings are down and stuff like that. Like, I just don't like watching basketball at this time right now. I don't know what it is. For me personally, basketball is my favorite sport. I love playing that sport. I grew up playing that. I don't know what it is personally for me. I just don't like watching it at this time. I'm hoping to find out from you guys, like, what do you think it is? But to me, I just don't like watching it at this time right now. I don't know what it is.
There's just no variety, man. Everyone shoots 53s, and if you make them, you win. If you miss them, you lose. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I still love it. Like, I still love watching, like, those players play. Like, you know, Jokic, new players coming in. Like, I love watching college basketball. But, like, for some reason, I just don't like watching it as much as I used to. And I still say that's my favorite sport ever. So to me, like it just kind of hurts. I don't know. Another disappointment, which I was not surprised about, was The Acolyte. We already talked about that, so I'll skip that. The Acolyte, Star Wars, terrible. Please don't watch it, guys. Please don't watch it. Another one that I'm very disappointed about was watching Quiet on Set. I believe it's available on Max, HBO Max. And it's just like the kids that went through SA and all that stuff and like child abuse during them shooting during Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that. So that kind of sucked, dude. Like seeing like the actors that had to go through that and fucking predators coming after them, that kind of sucked, man. It really ruined my childhood because I love all those shows that I grew up watching, and just knowing the fact that they were probably being touched by like
Archbishop
and stuff like that. Yeah, dude, like it kind of ruined that. You know what I mean? So that was a very big disappointment for me. I still love those shows, but it was a very big disappointment for me personally.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, a lot of it more. I mean, the shocking parts were the child abuse, like the sexual abuse.
Right.
It feels like the more rampant thing was that they were being treated like extremely like second class citizens practically on those sets.
Yeah, like some of the parents were like just ignoring it. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Like the way he would talk to them and belittle them, and like that's pretty intense. Like the fact that you could do that in a workplace to children, that
disgusting, right?
Normally
you can't do that to adults now without them needing a mental health. You know what I mean? That shit's crazy. These people should have joined the military.
All right, Luigi, what's yours?
Mine was just one. I didn't think too hard on this one. It was the judging in the Olympics for breakdancing. I mean, it was the first time they had it in the Olympics. And Ray Gunn's ridiculousness aside, like if you watch some of those matchups, the ones I found more interesting to watch tended to be the losers. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, how are this being judged?
The judges, though.
Huh?
Dude,
that's more of a reflection of the viewers than the judges, though. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
No, there was some of the dancers that I thought should have advanced, but they didn't win for some reason. I was like, what the hell?
I know there was some kid from Denmark and even the American I thought did really interesting stuff, and they lost out to people that weren't even working with the beats. They were just doing moves. And I was like, what? How is this? I don't understand.
Raygun won gold.
Say what?
Hey,
Raygun should have won gold. That's somebody who went out there.
Oh yeah, Raygun should have won gold.
I mean, she was original.
Yo, if Raygun should have won gold, I will say this, guys. When I was in my 12s, 13-ishes, I actually used to know how to head spin. I could do a head spin.
You on your head and you spinning around is not.
Yes, dude, I could head spin, dude. Back when I was young, when I was a young boy, you know, I could head spin, dude. I'm not even kidding you. I can't do it now. Obviously, I'll probably break a fucking hip. I don't know.
Your neck, bro.
Yeah.
But I used to be able to head spin, dude. So like, I
heavy now, big fella.
Yeah, I appreciate the fucking breakdancers because that shit's not easy. And like what Homegirl was doing, yeah, it's funny, but I want to see you guys do what she was doing.
I'm doing it, Jason.
Please.
I think that's why it was such a joke, because everybody could do what she was doing.
The kangaroo thing was fine, but like I'm sure you can do that. But like
Joe Biden could do what she did, bro. Doesn't even know.
I swear, Eric, I would love to see you try what she did.
Breakdancers are doing. Can you do anything that Olympic athletes are doing? I'm just curious, because if you do, what are you doing not competing?
That's why they're Olympic specialists. But yeah, again, she shouldn't have not been there. She should have not been there.
I think she should have won gold.
She rigged the whole tryouts in Australia to get there, Jay Bird.
You give her the gold just on that.
That is
again. She rigged the whole thing, but like Eric, please do everything that she did.
All right, give me a week. I'll watch the video, memorize it, and I'll send you.
Give him a week. That's what he says. Give him a week. I want to see the whole thing, bro. He's gonna
be Ray Gun for Halloween and do the dance, dude.
Yeah.
She was so confident doing that dance, dude. I was like,
she thought she was killing it, dude.
I was like, you feel yourself moving? Like, do you see what other people are doing and what you're doing? I don't.
The
And honestly,
delusion
man,
is
she
real,
kind of
bro.
ruined it. She kind of ruined it because if you didn't pay attention to what she was doing, what everyone else was doing, oh my god, like that
They were doing
was
some-
amazing, bro. And the fact that like this went viral, they took it away from the next Olympic sport for the next Olympic. That sucks. That sucks to the people that like were actually good at this. You know?
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. So I understand that disappointment on that aspect.
I maintain they need to work on that judgment system. Like it didn't connect to me. It didn't make any sense. I was like, how is it that people are just doing moves with no rhythm? Like they're not following.
It was just her, dude.
No,
All right,
there were people
all
doing
right.
great moves, but not to any type of music that was playing. I was
But
like,
all right.
what are we talking about? Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just we're done with this episode. So we just covered movies, shows, surprise, disappointment. Next few topics shouldn't be as long. And we'll be recording another episode. So for myself, Jermaine Colon Mendez, for my co-hosts on this episode, Luigi Orozco and Jason Escudero, for the producers, DEP and Nutty Putty. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.